Hey folks, my name is Omkar Jagdare and I'm coming at you from Detroit, Michigan. Today I'm going to talk to you about Masters in Architecture. Before we get started, I would really appreciate if you can give me a thumbs up. It allows me to reach more people just like you. Thank you very much and let's get started. So, Masters in Architecture. So I actually went to Lawrence Tech University, which is known for architecture. So I had a lot of friends who studied architecture. I got a chance to hang out with them, get a chance to know their program. I myself am a civil engineer, so I kind of had an idea about architecture. They are very closely related. I unfortunately never got any chances to take, a chance to take architecture classes, but there were some programs, there were some classes where they were very closely related to architecture. So let's get started. So first of all, Masters in Architecture. It's a 2-year course, 36 credits, which is basically about 12 classes. 3 credits is one classes. 3 credits is one class. So how do you attack this kind of degree? Okay, so first of all, it's a 2-year program. That means you will have 4 to 5 semesters, because fall, spring, 4 semesters for about 2 years, and you might have to take one more semester to add up so that you can catch up to the classes. You want to graduate in 2 years. So that's how much is the tuition fee. 36 credits, you can expect about $36,000 of masters. Usually a good expensive university, a private school is about $1,000 per credit. You can expect at a good school it's about 1,000. You go to a fancy school, University of like Maryland, College Park, something like that, those are even expensive. Those are about $1,500 per credit. That can go up to $50,000-$60,000. It all depends upon which state you go to, which city you go to. Most costs are dependent upon that area. So look into the schools. Okay, I would say about $30,000 to $40,000 is what I would pay for a master's in architecture degree. I would not pay $50,000 unless I have a lot of money coming from home. I wouldn't do that. So go for a degree which is $30,000 to $40,000. Go in an area which is a little bit developed. Do not go to places like Arkansas for architecture degree. Understand, folks, architects are not as in demand. Understand one, I remember, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, in a video he said there are only 3 kind of professions you do in America if you want to keep money or keep working. You want security. The 3 are engineering. So understand one thing, architecture is not engineering, but it still falls under STEM. In January 2019, they passed a law, the American government passed a bill that said architecture is a part of STEM. So good news. That means after you graduate, you get 3 years of OPT, 1 year of OPT and 2 years of OPT STEM. That means you have 3 chances to get your H1B. A lot of friends of mine who graduated a few years back didn't have this opportunity. So a lot of new architects who want to come to US, you guys are lucky. You have these 3 chances, and that's a good degree to look at. Now, what kind of jobs you can expect in architecture once you graduate? Now, I would say, I would rate an architecture degree about 3 out of 5. I wouldn't rate it like a really good degree where you can, it's not as a very strong degree. It really depends upon the kind of individual you are. Now, if you are you consider yourself like a really smart individual, you can figure out things in America, you are confident and you can figure out things, then I would suggest do an architecture degree. Because understand, folks, the jobs in architecture are very competitive. There are a lot of Americans who actually do architecture degrees, so there is not as such as a need for architectures, but there are a lot of jobs which international people do. I have not met a lot of, if you're looking through the kind of people who are in architecture, I have not met a lot of Indian people in architecture. I've met few friends of mine who have done it. A lot of people I have seen internationals who are actually Asians, Chinese. A lot of Chinese friends of mine who are doing architecture degrees. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine who works in my company, she is an architecture major. She graduated from University of Michigan, a very good degree, and she found a job in my company. So here's the thing, good news. There are jobs for architecture. You can find jobs. That's not a question. But the thing is, the kind of individual you have to be in order for you to find these jobs, you have to be a little bit higher caliber individual. You can't just be like a normal student with a okay GPA from India coming here and figuring it out. You want to do that kind of thing, go for IT, Masters of Project Management, Construction Management. These kind of degrees are for you. For an architect, folks, let's be honest, I'm going to give it to you honest truth. You gotta be a really good individual. You gotta be an A+ candidate. I would say at least an A candidate. You can't be a B candidate. B plus. It depends. It all depends upon your confidence, folks. Trust me, understand. If you have a question in the comments that, hey, will I find a job after I graduate, it's not for you, folks. I know I'm coming at you a little bit stronger, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's a very competitive field. A lot of Americans do this degree, and you finding a job means you're going to compete with Americans directly. So understand that. So in order for you to do that, that means you have to bring something different to the table so that they can hire you. They have to do your sponsorship. They have to do your green card if you are willing to stay here for a long time. If your just goal is like come to US and do your architecture and go back home, hey, you're welcome to do that. There's no issue. You can actually find an internship, even work for 6 months, 8 months, and go back to India, China, wherever you are from. Okay, so that's pretty much what I had. What other things do you want me to cover? Like, I would say, what kind of salaries? Yes, I would say, architects are not as paid as good as engineers. If you have a bachelor's or master's in architecture, usually you make about $50,000 to $60,000. If you join like a major company, you might get up to 70. If you're in bigger cities, even then, like New York, San Francisco, even there, I feel architectures make about 75 is the max you would get. You might get lucky, maybe some architecture firms pay 80, 85, but that's a very high, folks. I would say $50,000 to $60,000 is an average architecture master's who makes in that. I have a couple of masters friends who have done their architecture degrees in masters in architecture, and they make about 50 to 60 once they graduated. Now, while working there, you can make a little bit good money. For a few years you can work and make more money, but hey, that's the field you have. But if you're really passionate about architecture, don't worry about all of these things. Don't worry about the money, don't worry about all of these things. If you know, you're confident, you think you can do that, and you want to do that, forget all of that and go for it. It's for you. So that's pretty much what I had. And if you have any questions, put in the comments section. If you have more questions, you want to talk to me personally, you can connect to me on my Instagram. It's Omkar A Jagdare at Instagram. Okay, so yep, I look forward to getting in touch with you. Bye.